In modern day construction, we can't think too much beyond concrete, because whether it is a tall storied building or a bridge construction or a road construction, everywhere the one and only construction material is your concrete. So in this video we'll learn about how this concrete is being produced, they are being placed, and they are being finished throughout the world. Okay, and other some videos we'll learn about its design. So what is concrete? Concrete is the mixture of cement, sand, and coarse aggregate. But by mixing all these elements, you cannot produce our desired concrete. For that, you have to add some water. Okay, without water, cement cannot be hydrated, as we have already discussed in videos related to cement. So water is a must. Okay, so proper proportioning of cement, sand, and coarse aggregate, and also water is also required for proper production of concrete. So what are the steps for production, the placement, and finishing of any concrete work? Step by step they can be arranged like this: first batching, second mixing, and next is your placement, how you place the concrete, and then compacting of that concrete. Last one is curing. So one by one we'll discuss what are this, what does it mean, each term, what are the significance of each term. Okay, so first one is your batching. What is batching? Batching is nothing but your measurement. Measurement of what? Measurement of cement, measurement of sand, measurement of water. If batching is not done properly, suppose for producing a particular type of concrete you need 400 kg of cement, okay, and with that you need 190 kg of water, but you measure 500 kg of cement and water as say 300 kg. Obviously you cannot get your desired concrete. That's why the first thing is batching, and it should be done with utmost care. That's why in some standard there are specification that for how much you can tolerate your measurement. For example, for measuring cement you cannot go beyond plus minus 3%. Suppose you need 100 kg cement, so you can hardly go for 103 kg or 97 kg in measurement. Okay, so this is batching. Batching means the measurement of each and every ingredient. So how the batching is done? There are different types of batching. One is volume batching or measurement by volume, and another is weight batching, okay, or measurement by weight. So where we should use volume batching and where we should use weight batching, that's depend on many things, like how much concrete you would like to produce, and what should be the standard of production, and how quickly or how slowly the production can be done. Okay, so depending all of this factor, actually your process also depend. So first we go for volume batching. What is volume batching and where it should be used? Normally for small type of job, that means where your requirement for concrete is not too much, hardly say a 10 meter cube or 15 meter cube, like that, you can go for volume batching. And also where the standard or the quality control is quite loose or not that much strict, okay, so there you can go for volume batching. Okay, and next we will discuss about weight batching. So volume batching, there are some certain actually key point or salient features which need to be keep in mind when you are going for volume batching. So first one is only for small job you go for volume batching. Second one is when you measure volume of any aggregate, like say cement or this coarse aggregate or sand, there are not definite volume criteria. I mean you cannot be sure like that. For say this is 1 meter cube box, and you cannot get fixed amount of sand or coarse aggregate for each time of measurement. Why? Say I am measuring sand in a compacted dry state, so obviously the weight for that sand is more compared to when I will measure in loose state, when I will measure the sand in loose state. Okay, so that's why you should always fix a criteria either in loose or in compacted. So in maximum standard it has been mentioned that during volume batching go for loose volume. And why? I have already mentioned, because in volume, for a fixed volume, the weight can always be varied by varying their compactness. Okay, and one more thing, this standard box or the standard cube, whatever you can say, is known as gauge box, where you measure the volume of the sand or the coarse aggregate or the cement. Now the next point is that cement should always be measured in weight. Okay, I repeat, cement always should be measured in weight. So how can we measure cement in volume matching? Because in volume matching we measure everything by a gauge box, okay, which has a standard volumetric dimension. So what about cement? There is nothing to be worried, because 1 bag cement generally contains 50 kg and its volume, standard volume, is 0.347 meter cube, or you can roughly say 0.035 meter cube or 35 liter. Okay, so obviously cement always should be weight. It doesn't mean, because I know 50 kg cement is equal to 35 liter or 0.035 meter cube. So you simply make a gauge box or standard box which have a volumetric dimension like this. Okay, and then you measure cement in volumetric. That means whenever you measure 0.035 meter cube cement, indirectly you are actually measuring 50 kg cement, and you are satisfying this criteria that cement always should be measured in weight. Okay, and next point, this is very much important. Whenever you are doing volumetric batching, this effect should be considered. What is this effect? Bulking effect should be considered for sand. Actually, end is not visible due to this picture. So what is bulking effect and why this should be considered for sand? Okay, bulking effect means increase in volume due to addition of water, and it is only happen for sand or fine particle. To be more specific, it is mainly happen for fine particle. How? Let's see. For sand, say this is the sand particle, tiny particle, this is a sand particle, and these sands are in dry state and total volume is this much. Okay, now you add some water in this sand. What happens? Each particle becomes surrounded by this water film. These are actually water film everywhere, and when these water films are actually not that much thick, first time this becomes very thin, this tends to actually, these films are distract or repel each other. Okay, these are water film surrounded to this sand particle. Okay, and this film, when thin, not thick, when thin, they tends to repel each other. That's why each particles take this volume and they have been repelled by this distance, by this distance, by this distance. Why? Because now they are being surrounded by a thin water film, and this water film repelled each other. That's why this particle has moved so far. Previously their distance was only this much, now it has become this much. So obviously overall volume has increased, but this increment of volume happen up to certain point, because when you add more water, this film get bigger, again bigger, and up to a certain, after a certain point, they cannot repel each other. They collapse. They collapse, and again this previous volume happen. So if you observe in this graph, this was initially the sand volume. Now you add certain percentage of water here. Say this is 3 or 2%. Now for fine sand, the volume becomes this one, almost 28% increment. Again you add some water, say 5%. Again it has been increased. Say this is 32%. Previously it was 100, now the volume has become 132. Again say you have add 7%. Now the volume has become more. Say this is 38%. Okay. Again you add some water. Say this is 12%. Now the volume has decreased. Again it has become like 31%. That means the water film has started to collapse. Again if you increase more, say 20%. Okay. So the volume has become only 5%. And again if you increase, say it is 25%, then the water will collapse totally, water film, and the volume will again become your initial volume like this. So this was your bulking of sand. So whenever you are batching, volume batching, suppose the water content in the sand is say 5%. So your volume of sand is 135, but you measure 135, but there the sand is actually 100. So you need to add more 35 kgs or 35 liter or something. You should consider for that extra volume. That's all. And when you measure the water, you should deduct the volume of water which is already present within this sand. That's why in volume batching, bulking of sand is so much important. Okay. I hope you will further study about this bulking of sand, and you will actually become more clear the concept why this is so important. And there are lots of lots of tests also available how this bulking of sand is measured. I think you should study that also. Otherwise you will not be able to measure inside how much water is present in your stack of sand. Okay. So this was all about your volume batching. Now we will move to wave batching. What is wave batching? Wave batching is mainly done for all important job or where your production of concrete is too much high, and also the quality control need to be too much strict. In that cases wave batching is done. Okay. And for your information, in wave batching there is no necessity to consider the bulking etc., which were need to be considered in case of volume batching. Okay. So how wave batching is done? Wave batching is done through two processes. First one is manual, where you simply take a wave and you measure it manually. One side you put some weight and another side you put your ingredient like cement, sand, or coarse aggregate like stone guards. Okay. So these are done manually. So all ingredients are measured manually through OA. One side you put weight and another side you put your material, as simple as that. Okay. And another one is automatic. Actually automatic is the one and only thing we need to be discussed, because whenever you are saying that for large production, for all important job you need wave batching, so for large production obviously you will not go for manual measuring. It will take lots of time. So obviously you will go for automatic. Okay. So for all large production, that means in plant like batch mix, it's a picture of batch mix plant where concrete is being produced mechanically and also in large volume. So in large, what happened there, the materials are put in a conveyor belt and the belt continuously move, and when your desired or correct weight reach, their movement is cut off. Okay, suppose this is the hopper. Say here are 4 hopper, and say for first one here is sand, and for second one, this one and this one, there are stone guards. Now from this hopper, what happened? It is a conveyor belt. Okay, this is conveyor belt, and in this conveyor belt they goes up to this mixing point. Okay, here the mixing has been done. So what happened? Suppose you need 100 kg sand. After 100 kg sand has been reached here, their movement is cut off. That means the belt stop, and you get your desired quantity. This whole thing is mixed up. The concrete go away. These are cement hopper. Cement comes from this one, and again for next batch, when next batch start, again this belt start to move. So this is the basics of automatic batching. This is the only thing which happens in batch mix plant. If you ever visit any batch mix plant, please try to visit these units where these hoppers, conveyor belt, mixing plant, everything is there. Obviously from the site manager or plant manager, you will get some briefing about this, and you will be able to understand what actually happens in large industry level production. Okay.